Bear stars Jeremy Allen White as Carmy, a classically trained chef who leaves his job at the fanciest restaurant in America when his brother Michael dies and leaves him his Chicagoland sandwich shop. While he tries to use his culinary know-how to transform the restaurant into something more than it's been in the past, he faces quite a bit of resistance from his staff. Ayo Edebiri plays Sydney, his overeager fangirl Sue.
I know who you are.
Liza Colon-Zayas and Edwin Lee Gibson play Tina and Ibrahim, two take-no-shit old-timers. Lionel Boyce plays Marcus, the easygoing baker, and Eben Moss-Bachrach plays his cousin Richie, who could only be more stuck in his ways if he was a literal fucking minotaur. This show dives headfirst into the restaurant game, serving up a realistic portrait of the difficulties, the stress, the pressure, but also the triumph of cuisine. And I hope you liked that last food pun, because all I ever needed was an excuse. The series was created and mostly directed by Christopher Storer, and in the pilot he lays down one hell of an hors d'oeuvre. His camera moves fast and his shots cut faster. Not in a Taken 3 way where showing every angle of an action leaves you seeing less instead of more, but because there's just too much happening to show it all for more than a second. Knives flash, meat sears, and the clock just keeps on ticking. Each image comes in scalding hot, keeping the audience racing to keep up and hungry for more. I absolutely love this pace. Watching it actually makes me feel the same way I do when I'm cooking. It's sweaty, timing is tight, and if anything goes wrong, it all goes up in flames. This commitment to hyper-realism, in its imagery, in its dialogue, and in its dynamics, makes up the meat of this show, but it does beg the question, why is the first course of the episode a friggin' dream sequence of a bear on a bridge? The pilot starts with Carmy trying to cross a bridge into his city, but his path is blocked by a massive grizzly in a cage. Instead of going around it like any sane person would, he lets it out. And while he tries to keep it calm, a bear's gonna do what a bear's gonna do, and we smash zoom into Carmy waking up in the kitchen. At which point we're dropped into the verite filmmaking of the rest of the show. So again I ask, why? Why, if you're making a grounded story about cooking, do you start in such a non-literal place? The visuals are strong and the framing and color grade is gorgeous, but these cinematic shots are at complete odds with the rest of the storytelling. Why do it? Well, I think I've cracked it. Most of the show is shot verite, that's the right choice for the tone they're setting, but the filmmakers want permission to be more creative than that. If you did it the opposite way, starting super grounded and then suddenly falling into the land of dreams, a portion of the audience might rebel. So, by setting the expectation for less than literal visuals early, it gives them the excuse to get out of the real world and into the heads of their characters when the moment requires it. This show is a great restaurant slice of life, but more than that, it's a really great character study. And a character study without subjective filmmaking is like spaghetti without the sauce. These flights of fancy are like a garnish. It enhances the flavor of the rest of the show and whets your appetite for the creative, personal storytelling to come. I do still have another question that needs answering. Why a bear? Why the bear? It's not the name of the restaurant. It doesn't describe the main character. It was just a visual metaphor in the opening and then it drifts into the background. Well, here's my theory. The bear is Michael, Carmy's dead brother, or at least his memory. This is a bit of a called shot and could easily blow up in my face, but I'm pretty confident and I've got a few reasons why. For starters, while I haven't seen the guy yet, I bet just about anything that bear is going to be a pretty apt physical description. He was a hard-boiled Chicago cook, and if even Richie respected him, he must have been one tough Teddy Graham. But enough of the bland literal interpretation, I want to get metaphorical. What the bear really is grief. Carmy is repressing his memories of Michael while simultaneously trying to keep his memory alive with the restaurant. That's a whole lot of dissonance to be carrying around every day. He's clearly holding on to a lot of pain. He's been avoiding his family and sleeping at the office, and if he's like any of the other chefs I've known, he wasn't exactly emotionally stable to begin with. His inner life is a full pot on a hot burner, and the longer it rolls, the more likely it is to boil over. The more he runs from his emotions, the bigger that bear is going to get, and soon enough, it's going to eat him whole. It should be no surprise at this point when I tell you I really like this show. Not just because I capital G get this setting, though that does help. I love a show that's doing two things at once. Marrying the handheld visuals and high-octane atmosphere of a slice of life with the emotive, subjective filmmaking of a character study just works. The characters are all honestly drawn and feel familiar. We've all met a Sydney or a Richie at some point in our lives. The acting, while not breaking any new ground, is all engaging and helps flesh out the world of the show. The accents are on point too. Mr. Moss-Bachrach, you slay me.
I hate litter.
This pilot moves fast and hits hard, and it has taken every ounce of strength in my soul to not just binge the whole thing right now. This show is a ripping hot skillet, and your brain is the steak. Toss it on and let it sizzle. Now for some small bites. You know how I know this motherfucker's a chef? Because he drinks for net.
If you know, you know.
So how you gonna pass the family test? Delicious or impressive?
Delicious is impressive.
Fucking A right it is. Jeremy Allen White, Eben Moss-Bachrach, Liza Colon-Zayas, Edwin Lee Gibson. Man, that's a lot of 3-word names. This is such a tasty little example of direct and open communication. You identify a problem,
It's too dry.
explain why it is a problem,
It's crumbly, it's too dense.
and offer up a solution.
You need to fill a baking sheet with water, put it on the oven floor, throw in another batch.
The only thing it's missing is an explanation of why the solution will work,
Just do it.
but I guess he just doesn't have time to get into it. I especially love this opening montage. Not just because it's nice to look at, but because it gets what makes cuisine an art. History, geography, and personality. Food is about nourishment, but cooking is about who you are, and where you came from. And that's all I got, folks. Hope you liked it. Sorry if those food puns weren't appealing to you, but hey, daddy's gotta eat too. Hopefully I can get back to this one once I finish this season. Like, comment, subscribe, bell, you know the drill. Thank you for watching.